Hello, all my fellow movie junkies out there. It is I, Mr. Cinema Junkie, here with a review of a movie that escapes all sense of reasoning. For me to attempt to describe what this movie is actually about, I fear that I would do it a grave injustice. I knew that I was in for something different right off the bat. Mr. Ramon 420, Chris, told me about this movie, and he mentioned to me how it was only released uncut in the UK. I could not find a copy of this movie anywhere for purchase, for rent, anything. So I did what anybody does who wants to see a movie bad enough. I downloaded it, and I found the UK version, and I watched it. And I don't have the words. I mean, it was a very good movie. To me, I'd have to say that when you hear people talk about independent movies, independent cinema, usually thoughts of trauma movies or small budget movies come to mind. This movie embodied what my thoughts on independent cinema are. The title of this movie is Sonny Boy. Now, I don't know why I was under the impression that this movie was from the 70s. And when I saw it, it still looked like it was from the 70s up until a certain point when I started saying, hey, this actor looks too old for this to be in the 70s. Found out later that it's actually made around 87, 89. So it's, on the grand scheme of things, it's a fairly recent movie. I think what made me think that it was as old as I thought it was because the part David Carradine plays in it. The big players in this, there's quite a few big actors, but right off the top, David Carradine, Paul L. Smith, and Brad Dourif are in this movie. David Carradine plays a transvestite. He plays the girlfriend of Paul Smith. If anyone doesn't remember who Paul Smith is, he played the abusive head guard in the movie Midnight Express. He also played Bluto in Popeye with Robin Williams. Well, anyways, Paul Smith plays a gangster, small-time gangster in a small town that he has in control. He has it under his thumb. And nothing happens without his say-so. Everything goes through him. He fences things. He gets a lot of stolen stuff. The movie starts off with Brad Dourif stealing a car from this couple that are checking into a motel. He kills them both, takes the car, drives it to the place, to Paul L. Smith, who plays the character Slew. When he's driving up, Pearl is up in the watchtower watching the car come in, and she's ringing the bell to let him know that there's a car coming. They're out in the middle of the desert. Weasel, played by Brad Dourif, starts giving him the stuff that he stole. He gives him a TV. He gets pissed off because it's a black and white TV, not color like it's supposed to be. He took it from the motel. But he has a Lincoln Continental. He said, hey, you don't have a Lincoln Continental. Look, I got you this really nice car. He sees blood on Brad Dourif's shirt and says, you didn't have any trouble taking this car? He's like, nope, not any trouble at all. He didn't want any deaths happening. He didn't want anybody getting killed because that raises suspicion. That brings a lot of heat on them. Well, in looking over the car, they hear a baby crying in the back seat. And Pearl, played by David Carradine, picks it up and says, oh, look, a baby for me, and starts holding on to it and nurturing it, mothering it. It was like one of those things I couldn't look away. I was like, Okay. So, right away, Slew wants to kill the kid. He's like, I don't want any babies around here. I'm going to feed it to the hogs. But Pearl won't have it. She protects that baby. She holds on to it. Out of all the things that happen in this movie, and there's some pretty disturbing scenes in here, none were as disturbing as watching David Carradine trying to breastfeed a baby. He has a vest with these black bags and nipples on it. It's like, come drink from your mama. I was like, oh no. Winds up getting his ass whooped during that scene, left in the corner with his titty dripping milk. And Slew finally comes around to the fact that this is his son. He's going to claim this son. But the things he does to this child as it's growing up is beyond reason. For his 8th, I believe it was his 8th birthday, he gives him the gift of silence by cutting out his tongue. When he's about 12 or 14, he drags him behind the car, tied with a chain. And there's a scene of David Carradine chasing after them, running after him. But he's dragging him around with a chain, driving the car, making him tough, basically. And then they show him when he's a little older, and he's tied to a stake, and they're burning fire around him. And all the while, Sonny Boy is narrating this stuff in his mind. He's talking about what happened. He says, oh, they used fire to make my skin tough. Nothing will hurt me now. And they basically use Sonny Boy to do their dirty work, to kill people, and to kill people they want out of the way, to do the stuff they don't want to do. A couple of citizens get killed because Weasel and another guy use him to steal some gold from a prospector, and all the citizens turn and get crazy, and they all come down on them with a vengeance. It all culminates into a very big battle. It's not really heavy on the gore, but there was one pretty heavy scene where Slew shoots a deputy with a cannon and blows him up real good. But all in all, not a whole lot of gore. There's some blood. There was a part where Sonny Boy was eating a priest. Yeah. I was looking up some stuff on the movie, seeing if I could find anything that of interest, and I did find this. First of all, I found out that Paul L. Smith did not want to do the movie. When he heard about it, when he was offered the movie, he's like, no, it sounds too weird. But then he saw the stars that were signed to do it, and he's like, okay, I'll do it. So, you got the right stars in the movie, you can get just about anybody. But I did find this little tidbit of trivia, this little trivia bit, and it says, in an interview, director Robert Martin Carroll explained that there were 3 moral lessons behind the film. See, I would have never caught that. First, someone doesn't deserve your love just because they say they love you. That's a good one to learn. Second, if there is good in a person, it will eventually come out, and it does in this movie. And third, once you've messed up, unlike most movies, there is no real happy ending. You'll always be a bit off. And it's true. I found the movie compelling. I found it entertaining, quite intriguing, very different. And I think anybody who wants to see something truly different should find a way to get a copy of this movie and watch it. For so many different reasons. I can't stress enough that it was a good movie. Strange though it was, and as violent as it was, I don't have any problem with violence, but some people might be turned off to it. But as strange as that movie was, as the whole premise of that movie was, it was a good movie. It really was. I wouldn't say it's David Lynch kind of weird, but it has some weird spots in it. There's a doctor in there that Brad Dourif is messing with, talking about how he uses animal parts on unsuspecting patients. And at one point in the movie, Brad Dourif gets his thumb bitten off by Sonny Boy. And he's telling everybody in the bar, he bit my clum. Yeah, he bit his clum. He bit my thumb clean off. And he's showing everybody the bit off thumb. And the doctor says, he said, you should let me take a look at it. And Brad Dourif says, "Why? So you can sew a monkey dick to it?" That's good stuff. But yeah, definitely check it out. Sonny Boy with David Carradine. You can't miss it. If you see a picture of David Carradine in a dress with gray hair or with black hair holding a baby and he's still wearing a dress, either one of those, you found the right movie. Just make sure it's the UK release because that's the uncut release. That's all I can say about that. But thank you to Chris, Mr. Ramon 420, for recommending that movie, telling me about it. I never would have found this movie on my own. I don't think I would have. Nope. But I'm glad I did. Definitely worth a watch. Glad I saw it. Till next time, guys, take care. And one more thing. Speaking of Mr. Ramon 420, aka Chris, it's come to my attention that he's got struck with the flu. Not feeling too good. So, I'll put his link below. Hop on over there. Wish him well. Wish him a speedy recovery. I'm sure that'll make his day. And if you're not subscribed to him, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, but if you're not, give him a sub. A subscription, not a sub sandwich, you nerds. Give me the sub sandwich. Thanks, guys. You're the best.